No, I'm not gonna do that. Howdy guys, how's it going? So this video is gonna be a little different than the other ones because this is actually a drawing video. I've always wanted to make like a process video where I show from like the beginning stages of me thinking of an idea, then like sketching it out, and then actually finishing it and like actually printing it onto a shirt. So I thought this could be fun. So yeah, if you wanna come along for the ride. Oh man. And my plan for this too is actually to turn it into a little series where I can, you know, do a different drawing, a different design every week or so. Yeah, going from, you know, from the beginning to finish, and I show you the whole process. Obviously I'm not gonna show you the full long process because that's gonna be like a 2-hour long video or something like that, and especially because I draw really slow too. But you know, I thought this could be cool or something fun to add to the channel, and it's a cool way to actually like unite, you know, my art of doing the shirts. And I've been talking about on the other videos how I wanted to talk more about my clothing brand. I think this is like a cool way to integrate my art, my drawings, and into an actual video. So yeah. And honestly, I also couldn't think of like a better idea, you know, on how to do this video. I've been trying to come up with like cool ways on, you know, how to actually integrate this in making like a really cool video about it, but I couldn't think of anything. So this is a good start at least, and hopefully I can think of something better as I go along. But you know, this beats staying, you know, sitting and thinking about what to do all day long, and this is actually taking action, so I'm excited for that too. So for this first video, and as you've probably already seen in the title, of course, I'm gonna do a fan art of one of the YouTubers I admired the most, and it's the biggest one too. So yep, alright, enjoy the fan art of the Pewd. Now, I have to get this out of the way first, you know, because PewDiePie has been like a controversial figure many times for the past couple years. But if you want to know my 2 cents about it, I think he's just a victim of having too many eyes on him, while all he wants to do is just makes his videos, you know, in his own authentic way for him and for his core fans. Important disclaimer, I have nothing against like the meme community and meme culture, you know, the meme lords, if you could say that. But in fact, I even identify myself a little bit with them as well, you know, like I've been around that culture and friends around, you know, that community for the past 10 years. So I really understand where he comes from and where his community comes from as well. And yeah, I even identify myself with the community as well, even though honestly I can't keep up with the latest memes and all the stuff that keeps coming out regularly all the time. Honestly, the only way I can keep up is watching PewDiePie and enjoying his videos, you know, doing the meme reviews and killing all the memes. So yeah. And you know, the media doesn't help either by, you know, like doing a bunch of articles about him, and in some cases like slandering him, and you know, just like completely misunderstanding his culture and the way, you know, that this community works. And you know, it just worsens the situation for him. You know, he doesn't deserve all that flack that he gets. And another disclaimer, I'm not saying that I agree with all his points of views and everything that he says. Some stuff, like, I think like completely the opposite of what he's talking about, but I still admire the heck out of him. And I think he's like one of the hardest workers, you know, on YouTube. I can't believe how it is doing, you know, a video every single day, and he's been doing that consistently for like years already. So I admire the heck out of him for that, and also for his courage too, of being so authentic and being so true to himself, even though he's like the biggest YouTuber and has so many eyes on him. And you know, that must not be easy. And I also enjoy watching his videos too. Some of them are so funny. Yeah. And I especially love the videos where he talks about fashion. And I just really admire him for the way, you know, that he has like a deep understanding of how like high fashion works and how like streetwear fashion works, and how that community of streetwear and the meme, you know, the meme lord community, if you could put a label on that, you know, how those two communities are like so much of the same, and yet they're two different ones. And at the same time, you know, the fashion community and the meme community are just like merging and becoming just one blob, you know, of like weird stuff, and you know, not taking themselves too seriously. You know, I think that's the main, you know, the main core message of like high fashion nowadays and the meme community, is that like you can't take yourself too seriously or take anybody too seriously, you know. And I really like how he has like that really deep understanding of that. So with all that said, I'm gonna draw a fan art of him, and I'm gonna, you know, try my best not to, you know, make him look too weird or anything like that. And I'm gonna turn it into a shirt at the end. So for the picture I decided to use, you know, as a reference, is like this one from Instagram where he's holding his two dogs. I just love that picture so much. And, you know, I'm going to try to do it in my own style that I've been drawing lately, which is like looking back right now, I have this tape from Brahma 1.5. I think it's like really close to Rumiko Takahashi's kind of work. So let's just get started. So, okay, I'm going to bring out my tablet over here. I have like this really old Cintiq 15X. Wait, let me see if I can show them. There you go. I have this old 15X monitor, tablet monitor, and I'm gonna just draw straight from here. All right, can you see that? Here it is, right here. I'm also gonna be recording my screen, so you're gonna see whatever this is right in front of the video. There you go, so you don't have to look at my face all the time. All right, so now I'm gonna bring in this picture. All right, so let's get started. All right, guys, so for this portion of the video, I'm just gonna narrate over whatever you're looking at, since this is gonna be a little easier for me to do on the recording part of it. So what you're looking at here right now, I'm just practicing some lines on the tablet, just to see what works, you know, just to see if the tablet is working properly, because sometimes it gives me like trouble and stuff like that. And then now I'm just gonna skip to the part where I'm actually doing the sketching, because there's a lot of parts where I just like stop and then I have to look at something else or something. And then over here, I'm just trying to do like a first sketch of the overall thing. Like I'm using the picture, of course, as reference. Using references is always important. Doesn't matter if you're doing something that looks realistic or not. You're always gonna have to find a reference somewhere, especially when you're not like a really experienced artist. You need to observe real life in order to, you know, portray something you know, that looks correct in a way. Even though my style is not really realistic, it still has to be grounded into real life and whatever we also perceive as like aesthetically pleasing or not. I think you always need to look at references no matter what type of work you're doing. Sometimes I honestly get lazy, and then like I get rushed, like, oh, I want to finish this piece really quickly. And usually when I do that, my pieces always look worse from something else that I looked at a reference. If I would advise you to draw anything, and especially for a beginner, always look at references. Pros look at references all the time. Disney animators, they never do anything, you know, like the OG animators, they were like the masters of draftsmen, you know, of like drawing anything. And they had years of experience, and they always used references no matter what they did. You know, they filmed the actors acting out like a scene or something, and they always used reference and the video footage as, you know, reference for the animation and you know, for making something look like it's actually there, even though the style is not like a realistic style. So yeah, that's my advice to you. If you can take it or leave it. But anyway, as you saw that I deleted the first sketch that I did. Usually I always do that. I just, you know, draw something crazy just to see if I can get the hang of it, and I usually don't, so I just delete it and then start over. And that happens like 3 to 5 or 6, 7 times, depending on my day, you know, depending if I'm feeling good that day or not. So yeah, I'm always scraping off ideas. At this point specifically right there, I deleted it again, and I decided to actually start doing small thumbnails. Thumbnails are always a great way to start, because like there's no pressure to do anything big. You're just doing like a little small doodle, you know, just to see how it looks. And it's a really great way to start. I should do that more often, actually. You know, I don't do thumbnails enough, and that's something I should always start with. You know, it really takes off the pressure, you know, of doing something perfect. You're just trying to get the overall composition of the whatever you're trying to draw, you know, look as good as you can. So for this part, I'm just trying to make him look as proportionately pleasing as I can. You know, I don't want to like break the anatomy of his legs. I don't want to make his legs too long or too short and stuff like that, while at the same time I'm trying to make him look like I'm trying to capture his silhouette, which is why I'm drawing so small, because I'm trying to capture the essence of his silhouette, which looks really cool. I really love this picture, so I'm just trying to capture that as best as I can, because it's already so good. After that, I mean, I'm gonna break some of the rules just to make him look as pleasing as I can in my style, while still try to make it look like him. And then I'm gonna delete the first one, since I'm getting pretty confident at the second silhouette that I started. So yeah, so you see right there, I'm deleting it out. And then for this part, I started doing another silhouette again. The other one got a little too dirty, and I couldn't add any really like little details in there. So just trying it out with like a thinner brush size. And yeah, I'm trying to get his body proportions right on this one. See, I'm trying to draw him without the clothes on, just so I understand that I'm doing his silhouette right. And as you see it over there, I did it. I think I got pretty happy with this one. It looks pretty good. Yeah, and then as you can see, I'm trying to put in the clothes now. You know, since I got the anatomy right, now I'm trying to fit the clothes within the anatomy, to see if it's gonna work. And that's pretty much how it is. You know, I try to break it down as much as I can and try to do little steps, you know, trying to get like every little part, you know, as good as I can before I actually start doing the final piece. I also have to mess up a lot and try to apply different things and start over and over, like little simple thumbnail drawings, just so I have the overall look as good as I can, so I can move on to like the final thing. Yeah, I think the longest part you're gonna see from this is just me actually trying to get it right. So I think I'm just gonna speed up this part for a second. Alright, as you can see now from this point on, I'm pretty satisfied with the thumbnail. So now I'm gonna add in more details to the sketch, and I'm gonna make another sketch with it, adding in even more details. And now at this point you don't see the picture anymore. It's because I have the picture open in another monitor. I'm looking at it as reference the whole time I'm drawing. I'm always looking at it, always trying to see the reference, or see if it's looking right or not. Alright, so for this Maya part, I took a little while with her, trying to draw her right. I haven't drawn dogs in a while, so I'm not really good at drawing dogs. So that part, it took me a little longer, but you know, I was just fiddling with it, and I'm always in this process of drawing too. I'm always stopping for something. I'm always getting distracted, even though I should just focus. I usually have a video on or I have music on, and I always get distracted somehow. So I'm always drawing slow. And at this point, I move on to Edgar. I'm trying to make him a little more goofy. And for this one, as you can see, I took the liberty of drawing him in another pose, of him looking a little different than from the actual picture. That's just because I wanted to add a little character in there in the picture, you know, just wanted to make it give it a little more, you know, character to the dog, and, you know, just to make the overall picture a little more cheerful in a way. So as you're gonna notice in this part, I'm deleting some of Felix's face. I'm trying to make it look more like him. At this point, I'm not satisfied with the way he looks, and I'm always going back and forth into things where I know I need to work on. See, at that moment right there, I go back to Edgar. Yeah, that's usually how I draw. My mind gets like scatterbrained, and I just go back and forth into different things, trying to get everything as good as I can. And at this point, I noticed that his face was a little too narrow. It looked like more skinny than how he actually looks. So I'm trying to tone his jaw, make his jaw a little more square, and then to see if it actually looks more like him. And I think at the end, like, it doesn't really look like him a lot, but I was pretty happy how it looked. Yeah, I was pretty satisfied with the way it was that. And I had spent too much time on this. I had to move on. This overall thing, I think it's been like more than 2 hours already. So yeah, I needed to move on. So at this point, I was pretty satisfied with how the sketch looked. So I started doing the final lines for the work. And this process, I'm trying to make the overall shape and the overall details look as good as I can. You know, I'm not following 100% the sketch, even though sometimes I really like to do that. I try to do my sketches as tight as I can, just so I don't have to worry about, you know, making the lines look okay, you know, when I'm doing the final lines. But at this point, I was pretty satisfied with it, and I was in a good mood, in a good streak, so I just decided to go for it. And you know, I was drawing more and, you know, doing the real thing as I went along on that part. And I'm gonna skip some parts over here. You don't need to see the whole process of doing the lines. Some parts of them get really boring. So now at this point, I'm starting to fill everything out with white. The way that I color usually is like a really flat style. I'm not trying to look for realism. I'm not trying to look for shadows and stuff like that. I'm trying to do the style as flat as I can. So I just start out like with filling out with colors, especially for doing shirt designs too. Every color that I do is always in a separate layer, because usually that's the process for screen printing, and I just got used to doing that at the end of the day. So that's usually how, you know, my process is, just because I'm used to it, and I just go faster doing it that way. And also, I don't know if you noticed on my on the color of my brush over there, they're always black. I always color everything on black just because again of screen printing. Because for screen printing, you need to print out and make a screen out of every color, out of every different color that you make. And usually they use black to print that out. They need the whole overall, you know, layer of that color, and they print it in black so they can make the screen for it. So I got used to drawing everything on black, and then I just use a color overlay to actually make it look, you know, to get the color that I want. And it's really good too for me to try out different colors and everything like that. It's really easy to just do that. And now at this point, I'm just trying to fill out the colors for each part of his clothing, mainly because I didn't know if I was gonna do if I was gonna do different colors for each thing. But if I needed to edit anything like out of just the shirt shape or something like that, I usually just draw like a whole shape out of that one thing first, and then I move on and I do the rest for it. At this point I was overcomplicating it for no reason, honestly, but it always feels safe for me if I just if I'm gonna fill out a color, if I'm gonna change a color or something later, I just do it in a different layer. And yeah. Okay, so this is a good point that I was just talking about. See, I filled out the whole glasses. I just fitted it with like a solid color, and then I used the selection of it to actually to add a screen tone for his glasses. That screen tone that I have is just a brush for screen tones. So yeah, at this point I was pretty happy with how the drawing looked. So now I started working on little details like the background and stuff like that, and just try to make the background that PewDiePie has for his stuff that he makes, like that weird wavy thing. And yeah, I'm just trying to mess around with it, see if I can do the similar effect. By the way, guys, I'm sorry if I'm sounding a little too nasally. I came down with a cold, and like I can't feel my nose or anything, so that's why I'm sound really nasally through this whole video. So sorry about that. And okay, at this point I was pretty happy with the background, but I decided to add some more elements because it felt a little missing. It felt like something was missing, so I just decided to do that little gotcha meme thing as like little props for the background, and see how that would work. So that's what I'm doing there right now. Yeah, I'm just trying to get the hand right, and the hand look right. Looked a little weird there at first. I'll just try to fix it. Alright, and at this point I still wanted to add something in there, so I just decided to add his name in there to kind of make it look like kind of like a magazine cover. And yeah, just to add a little more, you know, something more interesting to it and make it look a little more like streetwear, because that's like the style that he's wearing anyway. So I just decided to, you know, to give him a more cool look, you know, as cool as I can do. I don't know if I can make something look cool, but you know, I don't know if this drawing is cool. You'll be the judge of that, not me. And then this last part, I don't even know if you can see it, but just try to add some texture into the drawing, you know, to make it look a little more like lo-fi look, if you will. So I always have like a noise layer right at the top, so I can make it look like noisy and old looking, and try to add some like little color variations in there too, just like a little subtle thing, just to see how it looks. And yep, this is the final piece. This is how it looks. So now I'm gonna try to print this out. Alright, as you can see now, I'm wearing like a different shirt and everything, and to be honest with you, that drawing took a long time. I sped up most of it, but at the end it took around like 5 hours and 30 minutes, and mainly because I had to stop a lot and I had to get out of the house like in the middle of the drawing, came back home a little later, and by the time I finished it was already night. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna finish here as it is, and then I'm gonna start the video again on the other day. So this is what I'm doing now, and now I'm gonna start the process of printing it. I already have the image ready. I saved it as a TIFF file, and now I'm just gonna set it up for print. I'm not sure where I'm gonna print first. You know what, I'm gonna print straight from my big printer, just to see. This is a wide printer. It prints like 11 by 17 paper and 13 by 19, I think, is the biggest size. Yeah, I can do bigger prints with this, but for this one I'm just gonna stick with a regular letter paper. I'm gonna do a test print and then see how it comes out. Hey, not bad. I can see there was some clipping over here on the P. I almost got it cut out. I'm gonna do a full fit to scale. Yeah, so around 3 fingers here for printing. So this is where it's gonna go, actually. Alright, so now it's gonna be the big deal. The real deal paper. I have this fabric transfer thing. It's actually from a friend of mine. She forgot it here, so I'm gonna use her thing. Oh, sorry if you're watching this. And I'm gonna use the dark transfer paper, which is this guy over here. And this is the side that it prints, of course. This paper is not like the best high quality, but it's at least good for like a test, you know, for a test shirt. And I'm not gonna use, you know, I don't use this kind of paper for actually selling the shirts with. So this is like more as a test run and stuff like that. So I don't use the actual really expensive paper. All right. Oh yeah, that looks real good. This is actually smaller than I thought it would come out. So I'm gonna have to cut this out. I'm gonna have to wait till this dries a little bit. And I'm gonna already start my my heat press too. I'm gonna start to turn it on since it takes a little while for it to heat up. Boop. You know, this thing is almost drying up, so I'm just gonna cut it out. I'm gonna place the shirt over here too already. There we go. So I'm gonna cut the thing right now. Now it's all cut out and ready to go. Well, now that the heat press is ready, I'm gonna heat up the shirt first. I heat it up for around like 10 seconds, something like that, just so I get all the moisture out, and I make it like cool and hot and ready for pressing. Then wait 10 seconds for this. Still feel some stuff coming out of this, so I'm gonna do this again just so I can really take all the moisture off. Now it's like hot and ready to go. So now for this guy, I'm gonna have to peel the backing off. Since this is a dark transfer, there's like an actual thing I gotta take out. See? And now I just placed this baby over here, right where I want it. That's gonna be around 3 fingers off. I placed the parchment paper over it, so the color won't bleed through it or anything. This paper is heat resistant. And now I press on for 30 seconds and see how it goes. Woo, look at all that smoke. And bam, there it is, man. Haha. I'm gonna try doing it a little more, just for like 5 seconds, just so I make sure it's like really in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beautiful. Oh, baby. Yeah. And here it is, guys. Check this out. It's on the shirt and everything. Like, it's really pressed on in there. It's like part of the fabric now. Look at those details. Ooh, yeah. Little Maya, little Edgar, and the food. Haha. Alright, so now it's time to try it on. Let's see how it looks. Bam! There you go. This paper is kind of a little too thick, in my opinion, but only because it's not like the highest quality of the papers, you know. I have another one that's like better quality, but this one, like I said, I use it just for tests, so this is good enough, at least for me, you know. Yeah, baby. So yeah, guys, this is it. I'm pretty proud of how it came out. I'm pretty happy with it, and I obviously can't sell this design, you know, because I'm not gonna be, you know, using somebody's likeness and, you know, without even their permission or anything. But one cool thing, if I actually got PewDiePie to see this video, and even or even see the art of itself too. So I'm gonna post it on his submissions Reddit, and see if he catches up, and if you guys can help me out, like leaving an upvote over there or something, that would be cool. I think that would be a good thing at least. So thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate you, and I hope it wasn't too boring. And all right, I'll see you next time. Take care.